Hey, I think we are live on YouTube again. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry that for this little snafu. But we are, I think my sound is going to be, hold on for 1 second. I wonder, can I mute you? I can mute myself. There we go. Okay, we are back and doing well. Sorry again for the snafu. Sorry for all that hubbub of going from Facebook to YouTube. And then I openly admit it was my fault that for our guests, I told them the wrong time. So I apologize. It's my fault. It's not them. It's me. I don't know if you know me, you know that I just am not good with time. So I told them the wrong time. They are coming from a different time zone. So I just messed up on that. But we are back and we are doing well. So today's guests, I have worked with them multiple times. They are fabulous people. And if you want to talk about people, here, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So I think technology. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. We've got one of them. We've got one guest in. Can you hear me? Maybe. Nathan, can you hear me? Great. Can you hear me, Nathan? Maybe. Oh, there we go. No.
Try
Son
that.
of a gun. Wait.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. There we
I
go.
can't hear you though.
Seriously? Here, let me just do this. This is
down at the bottom left-hand corner. It might say join audio. You might have to hit join with computer audio or something like that.
Well, I did join with computer audio.
Down at the bottom left-hand, it was on mine.
I'm going to do this.
It's good to see your face.
Hey, it is wonderful. It is wonderful.
I wish I could hear your voice, but it's good to see your face.
I realize that we're talking and you can't hear me.
Yeah, I still can't hear you.
System. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Are we live on YouTube? I see that.
We are live. We are live. And this is
awesome.
I know.
I can practice reading your lips.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. See?
It's weird and you probably can't hear me, but our conversation is like we can hear.
So YouTube can probably pick it up because it's doing that, but I can't hear you but you can hear me.
I can't hear you.
So let me do Michael this. Says that it's an invalid ID or something like that.
What?
Did you hit the correct email? I'll ask him because I got
let me shoot him one more time. I don't want to shoot him.
So, I've got my volume up. I've got everything.
Okay.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I think it may be my fault. What about that?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yep.
And I can hear you.
Yeah.
Let it be known, everyone who is watching and will watch, I had it right.
That's right.
And now we just have one problem. We have to get Michael in there.
Yeah, he says he hit the correct link. I don't know.
So I went ahead and I emailed him again to invite him one more time to see if that's what matters.
Okay. I bet I should get some headphones or something so that it's not echoing. I don't know if it's echoing for YouTube.
It's not echoing.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Good. Yeah.
I think this is good so far.
Awesome, man.
I just went over to the YouTube link. We're looking good.
Really? Oh, good. Yeah. Nice. What is this, Kenny? I've got a little.
You like that? That's so you've yet to. Kenny's the other pastor that works with me.
No, I haven't met him yet.
So
No.
there's three pastors here, myself, Kenny, and then Jesus is, and Jesus works a lot, of course, with the Hispanic church, and but Kenny is part-time. There's never part-time pastor, but he works construction. So our governor just allowed construction to go back to work this week.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's picking up a little bit there.
It is. It's looking a lot better. In fact, the state parks are going to be able to open. They're not going to do camping or allow bunching, but they're going to open up the state parks for day use.
Oh, wow. Okay. Any word on when churches can start getting back together? No?
No word on that. Here, I'm going to do this. He's sending me a new email.
You do what you do.
But like, I think we've got a good, like like so far, for us at least, the whole online stuff has done well. I mean, it's of course never ideal, but it's gone well. And we've created a good like plan to go from online completely to meeting in small groups, and then slowly integrating ourselves back into the big gathering.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, that's good. Let me see if I can go back to this and. All right.
So what about, I heard, did you guys open restaurants?
We, so Nashville's doing this thing where they're doing 14-day increments where basically, yeah, a restaurant will open at half capacity now. And then in 14 days, if the numbers are looking okay, then they'll open them up, just a bit more, or maybe even, full capacity. And then it kind of increments, I think, in 6 stages, from there. So, yeah, man, it's wild. It's wild. So, and I know, did you guys have a lot of cases up in Washington? Is that?
We did. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we were some of the first, I mean, because and one of the issues is it began, from what I understand, it began in a nursing home. And a lot of the first major, especially the deaths, came from because it was within that nursing home.
Right.
And then it just kind of exploded out from there.
Oh, wow.
That King County, which is we're down here in Pierce County. King County is up at Seattle.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it happened there, and it slowly just trickled down to where even now Pierce County, before we went into stay home, stay safe, we were having a lot of cases. Yeah.
That's man, I love that area, Tacoma and Seattle. So how's everything at the church?
Things are going well. We are, it's been good. It's been a good, it's been a good, sorry,
I know you're split braining here. So
it is. And I think I'm triple brain here because I'm trying to talk to you, with Michael.
To get Michael on.
Robin is sending stuff and I'm reading hers.
Oh, nice.
She's saying. So, well, let's just do this, Nathan. We'll just get started, and I haven't really officially
hang out
or let people know who you are. All of a sudden, they just see this conversation between two friends. We will, and so we're back, as you can tell. This is my friend Nathan Walters with Mission Discovery. He and Michael should be getting on here possibly soon. We've had some technical issues, as today has been like the day of technical issues. You didn't know this, Nathan, but first I was trying to live stream from Zoom to Facebook, and it wasn't letting me do it.
Really?
Even last week when we did an interview, it completely dropped the interview. So I thought, hey, I'll try YouTube, and YouTube has been well, except we can't get Michael in. This is just, it's just not my day.
No. Yeah, we had to. So at Mission Discovery, we've kind of pivoted and we're doing daily. You did one, a daily devotional, and actually
Yes.
it's coming out tomorrow. Is that right? Thursday, tomorrow.
The
Yeah.
30th, yeah.
Yeah. So you're on tomorrow. But yeah, so one thing that we did was I had to go and research a technology or a program to figure out how to live stream multiple people onto Facebook and YouTube or whatever,
Okay.
from different locations. See, and we use something called Ecamm Live, and you have to use Skype and all that stuff, but it gets complicated, dude. So I don't I totally get where you're coming from.
Well, and this is so I've been doing daily, sort of like what you and Michael are doing, is kind of the daily
Yeah,
check-ins, devotions and stuff, just to
Mhm.
connect with people and help them. And then we were here because on Wednesday we do a food bank. So we said, hey, we're here. We should do like a live, just, so it's Kenny and I talking, and we decided to up it a little bit by sharing stories of hope, just talking about giving people, those glimmers of hope in the midst of this. And then last week we said, hey, let's interview. I was listening to a friend of mine, David Zock with Remedy Drive. He was doing like home concerts, whatever. And I was like, hey, he would be really cool to interview.
Oh, yeah.
So we interviewed him, and then it dropped it in the middle of the interview. So I had to quickly record it and then repost it. It's just been crazy. So
Yeah.
it's like this whole live and trying to interview is not what I was expecting to do, but I've kind of found myself here. So I might try that Ecamm Live.
Ecamm Live. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Very
Oh, there we
interesting.
go. Here, Michael is in, or is going to be in. I'm going to admit him.
Did you have the paintings? Michael's here.
Hi, Michael.
Michael's phone is connecting to audio. There he is. Yep, you're here.
Yeah, it's not connecting on my computer. So.
Oh, really?
Weird.
Well, that's all right. You're on YouTube Live as
Welcome,
we
Michael.
speak. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're looking good.
You are. You're fresh.
Know.
You're fresh, man. There you go.
There we
Did
go.
you have the hope in the background, Phil? Was that at your old house in Rapid?
Maybe. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I painted
think
it
so,
in
'cause
Rapid.
I remember. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
All right. Well, so I keep starting and then I stop because we start talking about random things. Everyone, we're back. All's well. We've got the intended guests here, and I'm excited. This is my family's dear, dear friends, Michael and Nathan with Mission Discovery. They're here to talk about what they do, what Mission Discovery does. And again, as I said earlier, that I want this time just to be moments of sharing glimmers of hope with people, and being able to hear people's stories of how they understand hope to be, what they mean, and how they live that out in their daily lives. And for me, especially as in doing this and choosing people, when I think about those that are on the front lines of living out the gospel message of hope, it's going to be these people that I'm talking to. Last week we had David Zock. This week we have Nathan and Michael and all what they do. So welcome, guys. Thanks for doing this.
And thanks for having us. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil.
You are looking good. That's for sure. So, what have you guys found helpful in all of this? We our governor called it stay home, stay healthy, which I appreciate. What have you found helpful to get you through these moments and times?
Well, so for us, for me, this is a very different time because I'm used to kind of staying at home and working a bit, my wife, who we just got married in November, so I think we're on 6 months now, maybe. She's a school teacher, so we're still in that like, okay, how does this work together now? And so we're hitting a lot of little kinks, along the way, just because we're figuring out that she's used to being in front of people all day, every day, and now she's just kind of sitting downstairs alone while I'm working, and it's not going. And I'm sure there may be some other people that feel like that too. It's like, this is way out of the normal, so something that keeps me grounded and is just scripture, getting into it every day, and We have Michael and I do a thing for Mission Discovery now where we do devotionals. And so I get to, hear everybody else and their take on how they're dealing with the situations. And a lot of people talk about, the church, who we are, the church, becoming the light in the darkness during times like this and not running away from, in fear, I guess, from everything, but running into it and just being the light. So hearing things like that just challenges me and inspires me to kind of, keep it up and keep going. So yeah.
How about you, Michael? What are you finding in the midst of all this that keeps you grounded, helps you out?
Yeah, I mean, so, everybody is kind of dealing with this in their own way. And, you know, uh, it's hard. I mean, it's a hard time for everybody, even those, I mean, I would say I'm on the lower side of, as far as it hasn't affected me. Yeah, I've kind of had to work from home and change a few of the patterns, but it's still a difficult time that everybody's going through. For me, being able to kind of to kind of look at it through the perspective of that it is okay, that this time is different, that it's okay, that it is hard, and finding the grace in that, of accepting that, like, things are different and things are going to be different for a long time, and I don't have to be fully okay with that. And so once I kind of was able to just have that perspective, and in the neighborhood group that I'm a part of at my church, and in sermons that I've heard, that's been one of the messages that has struck me the most, is that one, recognize that this time is different. This time is not what we're used to. But once we kind of at least know that and start to accept that, we can allow ourselves to have grace. I've been reading more. I've been just taking some time to slow down. I mean, just in general, this is a slower pace for a lot of us. I mean, some people like Nathan might be working more than ever, but there is a bit of a slower pace, even in the midst of that. I think Nathan would agree that there have been times in which, because you can't just go out to a restaurant, or because you can't just go see your friends whenever you want to, you have to slow down. And so sometimes that's good, or sometimes that can be bad, because when you slow down, you start to have to be with yourself and be with the slowness. But if you can have the right frame of mind and the right perspective, there is a grace and a peace that comes with allowing yourself to slow down, and allowing yourself to be okay with the slower pace, because that's the key, right? You can slow down and feel guilty about it, or you can slow down and say, this is something that's good for me.
That's even, I was reading a relevant article today that, in fact, they were saying that this has been a great opportunity to slow down, just what you're saying, but there's many in America that haven't slowed down or taken that opportunity. So they're still trying to be as productive, and it just doesn't work. And I find, I admitted that, I'm one of the ones that, fortunate to take my work home and I can keep going. And I found myself pushing to say, hey, I've still got to maintain that level of productivity, because I need to keep this up, because we need to keep going. And it has caused more stress for me, because the reality is it's slowed down. And everyone has accepted that, but many of us keep pushing ourselves at that same product, at that same level, which I'm trying to do better, of just saying, it's okay, or being more mindful of taking the opportunity to just get outside and sit outside on my back porch and read.
Yeah, I've been purposely turning my phone on to airplane mode, finding a good couple songs, 2 or 3 songs that I just really want to let wash over me, and putting a timer on for about 15 minutes and just listening to like just a couple really good songs, and just allowing, and even in that, like the first probably 3 or so minutes of that, my brain is like trying to like think of other things to do. You know, it's like, have you messaged this person? Have you done this? And then like finally it gives up, and then I'm just left with like just really enjoying some music. So that's one thing that I've been doing that helps my body just like take a breath, and my mind take a breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
It's oh, you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead, Nathan.
Well, I was just going to say, I remember in a college, we had to take this spiritual formation class. And we had this book called The Life You've Always Wanted by John Ortberg. That was our textbook. And it was really cool because what it did was it walked through like different spiritual disciplines. So what do we do during the day to get closer to God? And there's things, you know, okay, of course, reading scripture or journaling, things like that. One of them was slowing. He called it the spiritual discipline of slowing. And so that's like when you're in the grocery store, you choose the longest line. And when you're driving, you choose to go slower. And so now I'm wondering, you know, after this period is done, what do we choose? You know, if we have the opportunity to choose the spiritual discipline of slowing for the purpose of getting closer to Christ through that, will we do it? Yeah.
Can I just say, I love you too. Like I think we have in life, there's people that like truly give life, and there's people that like, that you see the glimmers and the images of Jesus in them. And anytime I get to hang out with you guys, like I see that, and you inspire me to be better at being a human being and being a believer. And so those of you that, you know, Michael was out here in Tacoma last year and brought a group out, and hopefully you'll get to meet Nathan sometime, and Calvary will be doing more with Mission Discovery in the future. So these are 2 people, and I think everyone that I've met from Mission Discovery has been amazing. I mean, they're inspirational and whatnot, but you two you make me want to be a better, was it the line from As Good as It Gets? You make me want to be a better man. Like you make me want to you two make me want to be a better man. And I am I can go home now. I can honestly be done for the day because you two, I love you guys. Like you are awesome.
Phil, you have no idea how many conversations Michael and I have had that said the same thing about you. So behind your back.
Let's just say there's, you know, I shouldn't admit this because people here are watching. Like there'd be times that we'd be like, let's just move down to because there's a lot of people down there just amazing, and you two are on the top of our list.
Yeah, well, and again, I don't know how many times I've thought, man, I should just move to Tacoma.
Right.
Especially when I'm driving around the streets of what is it, northern Tacoma, and there's these little restaurants and different things to pop into, and gosh, I love that area.
Phil, can you see Rainier from Tacoma? I've never spent time in, can you? Okay.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this. This is so we're like, our house where we live, we're southern Tacoma, South Tacoma. And our house is like busy streets. There's trees everywhere. And a couple of weeks ago, our dining room has become the school, and our living room is Robin's classroom. And so I've retreated to our bedroom, and I was sitting in our bedroom, and I looked out the window, and I could see the top of Rainier, and it became like, now I sit there and I'll just look, and it's just the top of it, but like it's the greatest view ever. And
that's awesome.
And what's crazy is like you'll be driving and like you're in just see buildings, but then all of a sudden you come to a clearing and you look up and it's like right there. I love it. All right, so before I get to, I want to ask you guys about Mission Discovery and kind of what you do and things like that, just so people can see and know or hear. Oh, so Robin just texted me. She wants to know, do you guys see famous people? Like there's a lot of people down there. Like, do you just go to the grocery store and like, oh, hey, there's that musician or there's that musician?
My friend literally just like 2 days ago texted. We had, like some of my friends. We have a group chat, and they were like, Garth is in Publix again, and sent us a picture of, you know, Garth was checking out at the checkout counter. So Garth Brooks, if for those of you that may not know. But yeah, he lives in kind of the Goodlettsville area, and he's apparently always at Publix. So, which is a grocery store, much like Fred Meyer. There you go.
They must live in an area that I'm unfamiliar. So what I find is that celebrities tend to live in specific areas of Nashville, and I can't afford to be in those areas of Nashville. So no, I don't see celebrities.
Well, that's like Seattle, that there's certain spots that, you know, like the Seahawks players and some of, you know, they're all in certain areas, but those certain areas, like they would look at me and say, nope,
Yep.
you have to drive around.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, my personal best Nashville sighting was, we have an independent theater called the Belcourt, and they play, you know, art films and foreign films, and then they'll like replay films. And it was like December, and so they were doing like a replay of It's a Wonderful Life, and I was headed in the theater, and Jack White was actually headed out of the theater, and I just remember like doing like a head nod, and him like head nodding back, and I was just like, I just got a head nod from Jack White. That's I am now a Nashvilleian. So.
Oh, wait. Okay, that reminds me. Yes, I have seen a famous person. And this was like a guy, if you had asked me who I would want to meet, any movie star, whatever, who I would want to meet as a kid, I would have told you Tom Hanks. And I ended up standing behind him at the barista parlor.
What?
Yeah.
You stood behind Tom Hanks?
Stood behind. Well, and I talked to him. I said, "Hey, man, I love you." Yeah. So he's a very nice guy. Yeah.
Nathan, how do you forget the fact that you talked to Tom Hanks? That is like just everything about him, his movie, his goodness, his like, he is one that like, wow.
Yeah.
He had a real conversation with me, you know, and it was awesome. Yeah. I don't know how I forgot that. You're right.
There you go. I mean, I had coffee with Bryan Adams one time too. So there.
All right,
but that's impressive. Like,
yeah.
Wait, so how do you have coffee with Bryan Adams?
We were out with a friend, and she was like, "Hey, I'm meeting up with someone a little later on. Would you guys want to come with me?" And we were like, "Yeah, why not?" And she was like, "By the way, it's Bryan Adams." We were like, "Hey, sure." So we went to Pinewood Social and just sat on couches and drank coffee, and I told him about Mission Discovery, and he was a very nice guy. So yeah, there you go.
There you go. There you go, Robin. Come on out.
Well, before I get, last week, Kenny and I were talking about, you know, we've seen the polls of, or like the little memes of, you know, certain households, what would you know, the quarantine house, what would you live in? Maybe you've seen it, and there's different guests. And so we posed the question, if you were to be quarantined in a sitcom house, and so you got to choose what sitcom you would be quarantined in, it would be basically the main characters of each of that sitcom in a house. What sitcom house would you be quarantined in? Go.
Wait, so the characters that are there are not there. It's us there now.
No, but it's you with the characters.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you were one of the conversations, or we said that Psych, that so you would be in a house with Bert and Guster and I can't think of his name, Sean. So from Psych,
Mhm.
or if you were the friends, you would be in that apartment with Phoebe and
Right,
all of
right.
them. So what sitcom house would you be quarantined in?
All right. Do you guys remember Family Matters?
No, Nathan, no.
Yeah.
No.
I think I would go there because they had that. Remember, Steve Urkel had that machine that he would turn into Stefan. You remember that? And he was like, go from nerd to like super cool guy. I just want to know like what that, I want to go from nerd to super cool guy and see what happens, see how life is different,
Your Gen X is showing, Nathan.
Oh, I was supposed to choose this current one?
No, that's fine.
No.
If that's
Okay.
that's great. Michael, what would you choose?
I mean, there's just so many. When you asked me a pop culture question, right? And like, I immediately think like Arrested Development would just like, if I could just hang out with the characters from Arrested Development, it wouldn't go well, but I would love that. So probably Arrested Development. There's a new sitcom ish that I've been watching on Netflix that's just wonderful. And I would love to hang out with the characters from that one as well. Moira Rose and the Rose family. So I would probably hang out with them.
But could you imagine being stuck in a house with the Rose family?
Oh, I would love it.
It would be intense.
I would just have Moira pronounce words all day. Like
that would be. It was funny. We were talking about the show after last week and after we were done, and I said to Kenny, like, we can't say that TV's name, or we can't say that name.
I handled it well, right?
Yeah. It would not go well. So, all right, okay. I could see it being with Alexis would be interesting.
A little bit Alexis, exactly.
All right, why don't you guys? So those of you who don't know, again, this is Nathan and Michael with Mission Discovery. Great organization, something that our family has been connected with in one way or another throughout our time, which has been great. One of you tell us a little bit about Mission Discovery so that people kind of know that. I mean, those that have met Michael and were here and kind of understand I think they have a small understanding of really how big and like kingdom impactful you guys are. So tell us a little bit about Mission Discovery.
This is always fun because I can't see Nathan because I'm on my phone. So I don't know if he's going to talk first or me. Mission Discovery, nonprofit. We've been around for 25 or so years.
Almost 30 years.
Almost 30. Wow.
Yeah, 91. So 2021 is our 30th.
Next year.
Yes. Yep.
There you go. Nathan is our advertising guru, so he knows all this. He knows the stats better than I do. But so we exist to connect the church with a hurting world. Really, we want to find and make strategic partnerships throughout the world, both internationally and then also domestically, where people are actively, doing God's work. And then we find churches and groups and even individuals who want to connect with that. So our founder, Maury Buchanan, really, he summed it up. He said, I want to go out and discover what God is up to. And so he called it mission. Well, he tried out Discovery Missions, and then one of his mentors said, why don't you call it Mission Discovery? And so that's where we started. So what that looks like now is we go to Guatemala, Jamaica, Haiti, Mexico, over to Swaziland. Every once in a while, we go over to Northern Ireland. and we've taken groups to Tacoma and all across the U.S. as well, for basically 7 to 10 day mission projects where we're just really joining what's already happening, joining in with a ministry or a pastor or someone who is on the ground who will be there even when our group leaves, and we're just helping a group connect with what's happening, help them frame their week, and just kind of take care of a lot of the logistics of that. So, Nathan, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, you did. That's great, Michael. I think a lot of times, pastors, churches, leaders, whoever have a group of people that want to do good and want to go out and serve, and they don't really know how to put the dots together, and so that's what Mission Discovery does, is we try to make it really easy to serve. So, yeah, that's our goal.
Well, and what I appreciate about you guys is, when we were in Rapid, is that you make the long-lasting connection of a relationship with a place, and you don't just kind of hop in and out of certain places kind of trying to be the hero, but you partner, you come alongside and enforce and encourage and empower, and something that's already happening there. So it's not like you trying to be the superheroes. You guys just come in and love and build that relationship that lasts into eternity. And that's one thing that I've always loved about Mission Discovery.
Yeah. Into a move to Tacoma, that's the relationship right there. So, yeah, the perfect example is, you were in Rapid and then you took us with you to Tacoma, it's that relationship. So
what you're saying, Nathan, is wherever we go, Mission Discovery will
wherever
go.
Phil,
Okay.
Yeah, wherever Phil, Robin, and the fam go, we're there.
Okay. Well, except now after the Tom Hanks comment,
I think
Robin's going to want to go down to Nashville. That's done deal for her, and probably for me, if I get to meet Tom Hanks.
This is your room when you come. This is the guest room. So yeah, bring it.
Okay. How about, what is one of the most impactful moments that, both of you can answer this, one of the most impactful moments that you have had? So you both do administrative work, and you're both, especially in I'll call it the off seasons, you're both kind of behind the scenes, creating things, doing that, but you're both on the ground, making the connections, leading groups. What has been one of the most impactful moments for you as you are engaged in that ministry?
I'll take it first, Michael. So there's my very first Mission Discovery trip was to Tecate, Mexico. And there was this family there. What we do there is build homes with families there in like colonias that they don't have homes. So we build them. And so we were building a home for one family who had a daughter, and the daughter's name was Bianca. And, we were there. They had this new puppy, this like brand new puppy or whatever. Bianca and her brother Saul were playing with the puppy, and our group's there playing with the puppy too. Excuse me. And then, so then one of the days we went out there, and it was before everybody woke up and got outside. Our group found the puppy had died, and was right outside the house. Yeah. So, Bianca comes out to greet everybody. Of course, she sees the puppy and she goes ballistic and just crying. This was her puppy. And so I'm like, well, what do I do here? This is my first Mission Discovery trip. I'm in some sort of leader role. And so I'm like, I got to get our crew working and completing the house, and not, but I also have to, get the girl and try to, so I was like really in a tight spot. So what I did, I grabbed a bag and I put the puppy in the bag, and I grabbed Bianca and her family, and we walked out to the desert there, and I dug a hole and we stood around, and I didn't know any Spanish at all, but somehow we prayed and we got through it. And, it was a really meaningful moment. Well, so the week goes on, we build the home, everything's good. We dedicate the house, and then we leave, and of course our ministry partner there always chooses the family, and they're not always in the same location. So 2, 3, 4 years go by, And I haven't seen any yet. But at some point, it was about 5 years later, I was in that same colonia, and I was like, I wonder, if Bianca and her family still live there. So I went over, and I knew a little bit of Spanish by now. So I asked the mom, hey, you know, uh, they were there. I said, hey, is Bianca here? She said, no, she's at school, but she'll be back in 5 minutes. So like she was right around the corner. So, and I was like, there's no way. Now, if you know me, at this point, I had a beard like down to here, probably. I had dreadlocks coming down to my rear end, basically. And the year that she met me, I was totally clean. So it was I was like, there's no way she's going to remember me or anything like that. But as soon as she saw me, she dropped her book bag and like sprinted toward me and jumped into my arms. This is little Bianca. She was 8 now, and I think she was uh, you know 5 years earlier than that. Maybe she was 9 now. I don't remember. Anyway, details are fuzzy now. But that was a time where I remember being like, okay, here we are. We think we go and we do these trips, and we don't see people, and they kind of like fade away in our memories. But sometimes, even just being in someone's life for a week, that small period of time, makes a lasting impact on them, and they don't forget. And so that's one of the things I tell the teams now is that, when you go and you do these things, and you work with these people, and you just be with them, you might think that the week is over and they'll forget everything. But they don't. People don't forget that easily. Someone or an act that means so much to them. So yeah, I don't know. I think about Bianca a lot and her family. So
Wow. Michael, how about you?
Yeah. It's funny because most of our trips have like a work component, like, a physical thing where we're building a home or working on a school. But the memories that we carry, the memories that typically mean the most are personal interaction. And I remember specifically one where there was a group, and we were up on the hill in Guatemala building bunk beds for this family, and the group that was building them were just taking forever. It was a bunch of engineers, and so they were like literally on graph paper trying to like design bunk beds that could withstand a tornado, and it was just taking a long time, and I was just kind of like not into it because that wasn't really what I was there for. And so I ended up going with the children of the household who they were like leaving, and I wasn't sure what was going on, and I had a friend with me, and so we ended up kind of walking with these 3 sisters, and then halfway through we realized they were taking a little bowl of corn to get ground up into cornmeal so that they could make tortillas for the night. And and we'd been kind of like messing around with the bowl, like just kind of like goofily holding it on our head and stuff. And then when we realized like this is dinner, that it changed, and realizing that we were kind of being allowed to see what for them is like a personal, like it's their chores, right? Getting to be a part of that, just kind of like it meant something in a way that I hadn't really ever thought of, because typically when you go to a house like that, you're really only just seeing like what they want you to see, and this was something a little more personal. And so that was a special moment that I remember. Honestly, the time in Northern Ireland that you and I spent, Phil, I can think of a couple times where we're walking along paths, whether it was in Tollymore Forest or some of those other things, just talking and getting a chance to just interact and in a way that just felt it just felt special. So that's a recent one that I look to when I think about what the the beauty that missions is the fact that we can kind of pull back, spend some time fellowshipping and talking about what's going on. So there's two for you.
Well, and again, as both of you were sharing, I was thinking about the times that you were with us in Rapid City, or Tacoma, or even in Northern Ireland. One of the things that, whether you intended this or not, but I have recognized, and I think, and I appreciate about you two and I know the other ones are this way as well as the leaders, but it's such a powerful, like the ministry of presence. That word just came to my head as you guys were talking about that, the thing that I know you both encourage in these trips, because it's not about the stuff that you're building, which is important, but you being present in those moments, in those times, whether it's with children or with the adults or even with the leaders. You're right, Michael, the times that we've had, or Nathan, the times that we've had that just we've gotten to talk have been so impactful. And I appreciate that. There's something about when we just show up and are just present with people that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
What would you, I want this, whatever this show or not, I don't know, I want to call it a show, but this is becoming this idea of hope and sharing hope. And how would you describe hope to someone?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll take a stab at it. Yeah. So hope is. I had a conversation just recently with my girlfriend about this. So it's interesting that you would ask that question, but I would say hope is less dependent on the outcome and more dependent on our own internal like thoughts and expectations. So so we can hope for things and they may not happen, and that doesn't make it false hope. A lot of people use the word false hope. It's not false hope if it doesn't happen, because the hope was there. The hope was always there. So hope is expecting and thinking on either an outcome or something that you desire in a way that makes it present to you in the moment. Yeah, I don't know. That feels right to me. Thinking and placing expectations on something that you would like to see happen, or just something without it necessarily having to come to pass. Obviously it's better if it does, but hope is being able to just kind of enjoy the possibilities therein. I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
It is.
As you were talking, Michael, I was doing that thing where I wasn't really listening because I was thinking of what I needed to say. So I'd love to hear your answer after we get off the phone. No, I was just thinking about, like, maybe it's if we're talking about hope, maybe it's a journey toward wholeness is what I can come up with off the bat. It's like, we realize that there are things out there that we are hoping for, which means there are things that we don't necessarily have right now. And so whether those things are, of course, in scripture, we read that Christ is our hope. And so our wholeness is complete in him. But like, if I'm hoping to see my mother, I'm hoping to see my wife, I'm hoping to see, whoever, then they're not in my presence now, So it's kind of recognizing a void maybe, and wanting to I guess journeying to getting that void filled, which in Christ, that's wholeness, right? So I don't know.
Well, those are the. I mean, I like the idea of this idea of journey, and
Yeah.
Michael, you're right that there's. I think that especially we struggle with. Okay, if I put my hope in this, is that going to let me down or have that false hope? And so, if you mush both of your descriptions together, it's about the journey of coming into wholeness.
Mhm.
And if we look at even the biblical sense that it's returning back to shalom, it's returning back
Mhm.
to a wholeness that
Right.
you're right, that when we are in Christ, we experience that, and then that affects our process or our journey of getting to that. And sometimes things don't come true. So and then we'll wrap it up. This is the wham banger of a question. How do you live that out? Or how do you live out hope, whether it's in times like this, or in those moments where you are in a village or in a moment in a situation across the globe, in something that just seems hopeless? How do you live that out? How do you live it out? There's a big ambiguous question for you.
You get to go first this time, Nathan.
Oh, Michael. Yeah, don't pay attention to what I'm going to say, and you just figure out what you're going to say. Take one from my book. So I think I think of a few things. Number one, if we're talking about right now, being the coronavirus and everything, then we could probably describe it as a pretty dark place. And I also think of Haiti. So Haiti is a huge project for Mission Discovery, but we haven't been able to go for a year and a half now or more because of the violence there, and now this. And what was a desperate people or desperation already, it's probably now just much more. But I think one of the people that does our devotions was talking to a church history kind of professor or friend or somebody like that. And the guy said, historically speaking, the church, instead of running away from the darkness, has always run into it. We're running away in fear. The church is running into those situations as a way of shining light and being hope in those dark spaces for people around. How to live that out day to day, I think the answer is just be. There's probably more of a systematic way to say this, but first off, you want to be led by the Spirit, which means you want to be in the Spirit, which means you need to draw close to Christ in every moment. And so you can't necessarily bring hope to a hurting world or a dark space if you are not filled with it already, I guess. It's just daily, every moment, focusing on Christ and being in Him. So maybe.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
That was well done.
Yeah, good stuff there, Nathan. I think my answer probably has a lot of echoes of that. And again, when I think I think number one, it's important to think about the distinction between like hope and fear, because we can sometimes mistake our hopes for actually fears. Like I fear this, so I fear this outcome, so I'm going to want to control it, or I'm going to want something else. That's not hope, because it's all based on a negative, like if this doesn't happen, then this. That's not hope. Hope is the opposite of that, right? Hope is putting your trust and putting your desires, moving them away from like, if this doesn't happen, then this, towards Jesus is my hope. Whatever comes, I will rest in Him. And one of the best examples of that in the Bible is when Jesus is at the home of Mary and Martha. You have the two you have the two examples right there. You have Mary sitting at Jesus's feet, you know, just putting her hope, putting her trust, being present in the moment right there with Jesus. And the Bible, at least in some translations, says Martha was distracted. She was worried and upset about many things. So she's much more focused on the fear side, on I don't know what's happening and I have to control this. So realizing that we can't control everything. And so hope is less about trying to control something and more about giving control over. So having that mindset and being present within that and saying, God, where are you in this? Where should I place my hope? And the way we can help remind people of that, remind people that it's not about trying to control the outcome, but about being present and allowing God to speak through that.
Well said, both of you. Hey, the one thing that you both quoted the Bible, and I'm going to quote pop culture. The one thing that we're doing this, but then even I'll take the pop culture and connect it to Jesus. But on the 11th Doctor said, I am and always will be the optimist, the hoper of far-flung hopes, and the dreamer of improbable dreams. I think that's when I think about what we have as believers and as the community of God, we should be the ones that have been the hoper of far-flung hopes, or I always imagine us flinging out hope to everyone that we are, that there is something, there is a journey of wholeness available to us. And even just stepping into, like you said, Nathan, stepping into those dark moments, just being present and bringing light and saying, hey, there's another option, and it may not be what we think or the journey that we're going to, but there's hope. There's something to stand on in the midst of all this. And again, when I think about the far flingers, those that are flinging hope, I think about you guys and of what you do every day and going out into the many parts of the world to make a difference. And thank you guys for what you do. You are always, and I don't just say this because we're doing this and we're live, you guys are always such an inspiration. And I am always grateful for the time that I get to have with you guys and to hear and learn and listen to your wisdom and your experiences. So thank you. Thank you for doing this. Yeah. And we will talk again.
Love you, Phil. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, Phil.
Love you guys. Next time, if you meet Tom Hanks or someone, please take a picture.
FaceTime with you. Wait.
Bryan Adams is okay, but Tom Hanks, come on, you can't beat Tom Hanks.
Yeah. I don't need to meet anyone else in life. It's fine.
No.
Yeah, we're good.
Bill Wren Collective do live down in Nashville, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's true.
All right, you guys, we will thanks for doing this, and
Yeah, man.
we'll talk to you later.
All right, man.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.